Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life show. When you hear the word chronically, do you automatically associate it with chronic disease? We all do. It's been programmed right into us. But what if we flip that whole idea on its head? Let's discover how we can create chronic health in our bodies, our minds, our finances, our relationships, and of course, in our lives. Let's jump right on in. I'm Andy, and joining me in everything is my life partner, Minna.
So there's some craziness going on last night, right?
For which part? Oh, with the whole
Some people call it a hack. Some people call it an update. Who knows? But hey, it could be just somebody's wishing that they can catch a flight, and you know what? All the flights are canceled.
Exactly. Maybe they were wishing they don't catch a flight to go home, right? So I think
Who knows?
it's so important. Like you said, it's very important to be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah, you heard of the term "be careful what you wish for." It just doesn't always click. What did they mean by that, right?
Correct.
Most people wish to be rich, famous, successful, but there's always a cost to it, right? You don't just I dream that I have this and it just automatically come to you. It's not a genie.
That is true. And what comes with it when you become rich, right? Or what comes of it when you become famous, right? It may not be everything that you actually wish for. There's so much more. If you're rich, you have all these other things you have to deal with that you didn't have to deal with before, right?
Right. For instance, like Oprah or some of the TV personnel that that you're familiar with, a lot of times you can see that they're glamorous. You see on the TV, they look so good. They're so successful. And, there's 95% of the job is actually behind the scene doing whatever it is. And you just don't know what kind of grunt work comes with that kind of fame and success.
Exactly. And, I think it's sort of important when you are wishing for things, right? What do you really want? Are you actually wanting the right things for your life? Like, what if you're setting the wrong goals, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard that from doctors a lot, I guess, right? They wish to be a doctor all their life, and a lot of times that's because their parents want them to be a doctor. And in their mind, it's like they wish to be a doctor because they wish to fulfill their parents' dreams. But when they became a doctor or whatever it is that the career path that they've chosen, they just realized that's not what they want. You heard them from the accountants or whatever. They really want to be a musician or an artist. It wasn't what they want at all. That's not your dream.
Exactly. And doctors is hilarious because me and Minna's been watching Grey's Anatomy, and it makes you so worried about like these surgeons. They want to be surgeons, but do they really want to be surgeons? And do you want to be in that ER when you go in there with these crazy surgeons? It really tells you, a lot of it in the show. It tells you the things they weren't expecting. They wanted the prestige of being a surgeon, right? To be having the power of God. But when all these blood and guts and all these things that happen may not be your dream,
Yeah, you may not be able to handle the stuff that's happening around you too. So, be careful what you wish for. You just have to make sure that it's exactly what you want. And the other thing is, it's been going on a lot, especially people are younger than us, is the notion that they want it all. I deserve to have it all. What does that even mean?
Yeah. First of all, what does that mean? And second of all, why do you think you deserve it all? Right?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? It's sort of funny. For us growing up, we got nothing in life. We actually had to go out and grab it. We didn't. I think I deserved it all. I certainly didn't get any of it, growing up. And, a lot of it is manifesting of trying to figure out what you want. But you really need to decide what it is you actually want rather than being pushed into what you think you want. Or even now with all these TikToks and social media, I bet you a lot of people want to be influencers, right? It sounds easy, but I've heard, talking to some influencers, like Minna says, there's so much work in the background that you have to do. It's not as easy as getting on the camera. Hey guys, things are great today. What's up with you? No, I would love to make millions of dollars doing that,
And when you say I deserve it all, I want it all, it usually implies that you want a family, you want a successful career, you want to be a part of the community, you want to be in your groups or whatever it is. But you only have 24 hours. And if you spend 12 hours in your career, you only have 12 hours left to do whatever it is they want. And even if you wish for more time, that's not going to happen either. So be careful what you want to do.
That's so true. That's so true. But what if the other way, what if you don't get what you wish for? What happens then for most people?
I think that's where the problem is. That's where a lot of people get depression because, they want it all, or they feel like they deserve it all, but they don't get it. And that's when they become depressed. They wonder, well, what is, God punishing me or whatever it is? What did I do wrong? Or why don't I have this? That's when all these negative thoughts come into play.
I agree, because now all of a sudden you had, unrealistic expectations, and we don't get it. It's sort of like, well, why am I getting punished? Like, why does so-and-so get it and I don't get it? One of the things that I always find amusing, I shouldn't say amusing, because I shouldn't be looking down on people, but, a lot of people is always talking about manifesting. I want this, I want that. But you don't just wish it and it happens. It's not a genie. It's not a genie in a bottle, right? You manifest, you're looking for things that you want. And what that generates is usually opportunities, right? And I think when it comes to opportunities, when you see the opportunities, are you doing anything about it, right? That's what happens. When things come to you, there's opportunities, doors open. Are you stepping through the door, or you're hoping that something happens without you stepping in the door? I think that's where most people miss it on manifesting. Like, things are happening, but they're doing nothing to it to continue.
Well, then that's where I guess I was going to talk about it. But when we talk about you be careful what you wish for. What you wish for may not be. It's not actually the same as like setting a goal. When you're setting a goal, you're conscious about what you want, and you're conscious about what you have to give up to achieve that goal, right? If you want to be a surgeon, let's say, right, since we're watching TV, you do have to just give up a lot, give a lot of time, to spend a lot of years, you do a lot of practice. There's a lot to give up.
Agreed. And I think that's, at least for us, that's part of what we manifest. It has to align with our goals, right?
For sure. And, what happens if then you reach your goal, and then what happens?
Do you up your goal, or do you settle?
We don't know. That's a problem, right? When you reach your goal and then you settle into your goal, do you set another goal, or you just settle in and you become, that's it?
Yeah, that's where I think it comes down so important on, you have to be careful what you wish for, because you really do get what you think about. And, our guest today, she's going to be so amazing, Candace McKim. She's going to show us all the ins and outs on how to manifest and how to do it right. Because like I said, so many people are doing it wrong with all the right intentions.
Yeah, manifesting is tricky. And I know that, you can think about all you want, but hey, I think that's a trick to it. And I think you're going to love what our guest is going to talk about.
We'll be right back with our guest after these after these quick commercials. And
the bag. We'll be right back.
All right, strap in, folks. We're about to take a joyride through the fountain of youth. It's Annie Nam from Chronically Healthy Life. Ever wonder why some folks seem to age like fine wine, while others are more like a molded cheese that's been forgotten in the back of the fridge? It's like they got the energy of a Duracell bunny on Red Bull, while the rest of us are running on fumes. Now, you might think hitting the gym and munching on kale is the ticket to eternal youth, but sometimes it feels more like we're just speeding up the aging process. Picture this. You're on the treadmill, feeling like $1 million, and suddenly you look down and realize your knees sound like a bag of popcorn in the microwave. Not exactly the sound of youth, am I right? But fear not, my friends, because here's the kicker. It's not just about the number of candles on your birthday cake. It's all about those sneaky little stem cells playing hide and seek inside your body. At the age of 20, you got more of these bad boys than you can shake a stick at. But fast forward a few decades, and they're scarce as a parking spot in downtown Manhattan. But guess what? We got a secret weapon up our sleeves. Phototherapy patch technology without drugs. That's right, folks. With our stem cell activation patches, you can hit the rewind button on aging faster than you can say reverse aging. So if you're ready to reclaim your youth, look younger, feel stronger, and heal faster than a superhero with a side of espresso, then it's time to hop on board the rejuvenation train. Get your stem cell activation patches now at lifewave.com/chronically healthy life. And let's make aging look like yesterday's news. It's not anti-aging, it's reverse aging, baby. Hi everyone, it's Andy. Welcome back to another episode of our biohacking series, Inflammagating. Now, if you missed our last episode, we talked about the very first blood test that you should be taking to test if you have uncontrolled inflammation in your body. We gave you a lot of juicy details about the CRP test. But today, I'm going to focus on those out there who seems to be getting COVID over and over again, or literally any other virus that's floating out in the air, right? And if you're one of those unfortunate few who seems to be getting sick every few months when a new COVID variant mutates or arrives or announced, whatever you want to call it, it really might be because your immune system is overwhelmed by too much spike proteins. That's right, those crazy little buggers that's inside the COVID virus, right? Now, your body can be overwhelmed by too much spike protein in one of two ways. One is you caught COVID naturally through a very large viral load, which is typical for all those superheroes out there that was working in the medical field, treating us, the doctors, the nurses, and they get exposed consistently. So maybe if you're one of those, then maybe you have a large viral load. But for the most of us, that's probably not the case. For most of us out there, you probably got the spike proteins through the jabs. And the more jabs you got, the more spike protein that was introduced into your body. Now, according to esteemed cardiologist Dr. Peter McCullough, if you're sick over and over again with COVID, it might be because of spike protein buildup inside your body, and your body is constantly fighting it, lowering your ability to fight anything else. Isn't that crazy? Your body is constantly fighting spike protein, and it doesn't have the ability to fight anything else. Now, measuring the amount of spike protein in your body isn't easily done by everyone. But don't worry, Dr. McCullough's got you covered. He recommends you measuring the antibodies of the spike protein, which is very easy to do through an easy test. He says a natural infection should be between 0 to 1,000. The lower, the better, obviously. And you want to detox whatever spike protein you have out of your body, which doesn't naturally go away. Now, if you have a robust immune system, which I hope everyone has, and never got the jab, but caught COVID naturally, you shouldn't have a high number. I recently tested my numbers, my antibodies, and my number is 12.99. Not too shabby, right? So if you're one of those people who keeps getting COVID over and over and over again, please get your antibodies tested for the spike protein as recommended by Dr. Peter McCullough. Your immune system will thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. Our guest today, you guys are going to love this one, is the lovely Candace McKim. She is an acclaimed international intuitive manifestation teacher. Say that 3 times fast. #1 international best-selling author, TEDx speaker, and the founder of Manifestation Magic. Candace empowers women to unlock their true purpose and manifest their big, audacious dreams. With her vibrant approach and proven manifestation methodology, Candace facilitates profound transformation and impactful growth, guiding individuals to embrace the sacred synchronicity of manifestation magic. As a trailblazer in this realm, Candace sets a new standard for harnessing the mystical forces that shape our reality. I'm getting chills. Today, she is here to talk to us about the missing pieces to manifestation. Candace, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you here today.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. And I just love this title, or the show title, Chronically Healthy Life. So thank you so much for being here, or for having me here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we thought it was fun to kind of flip that idea around.
Yeah. I love it.
New paradigm shift.
Yes.
So, when we were chatting, you were talking about shattering the misconceptions that hold us back. So let's start with that, because I think there's so many weird ideas about manifestation floating around out there. And like Annie said, then you go, why doesn't it work?
Yeah. I kind of took a few notes, or mental notes, of what they were saying so that we can bring them up. But a lot of people think they're doing it wrong, because they don't think that they're doing their affirmations properly, or they're not doing enough gratitude in the gratitude journal, or they're not visualizing correctly, because it's almost like there's so much talk about it that they feel like they have to do all this stuff, and that's why they're not manifesting. And that's not true. That isn't why they're not manifesting. Their manifestations are getting stuck in some area of their life. And I call them pillars in my program. So what's happening though is their manifestations are getting stuck. And then another one of the myths that people have is that they believe they have to have a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan. And that's not true. That isn't, it's wrong information, basically. And I know even myself, I was annoyed at one point in my relationship, my marriage, that I feel like we have to have a plan. and then one year we made a plan, and the plan did not happen. And I remember the year, it was 2019, it was 2018, and we're making this plan for 2019. We're going to do this, we're selling, we're moving, we're doing all this stuff. None of it happened the way it was supposed, like the way that we thought it would happen. Mm-hmm. And so then we were going into 2020, and we laughed as we're clinking our glasses for the new year, thinking that there's no point making a plan because we have no idea. And then that was when COVID hit. So,
yeah, there you go. Well, I'm going to go back just a little bit. So you were talking about something getting stuck. Okay. And I'm like, so what do you think would be an example of a really, really dominant, like a common way that people get stuck in their manifestation process?
Okay. So I'm going to tell an analogy. So say you're driving in your car and you see a field, and you see a herd of horses running through the field, and you get kind of like this inkling, this intuition, or this, I don't know, this little inkling that, oh, I would love to ride a horse. And you go, oh, I would love to ride a horse. That would be amazing. And then you maybe start visualizing yourself on a horseback, or getting on, like getting in the saddle, and, feeling the mane and all of that. And you start to feel like you're starting to visualize it. And then all of a sudden you go, oh, but it's really expensive to have a horse. Horses are expensive.
Yes.
Feeding a horse would be expensive. Boarding a horse. What would my family think? And then you go back, then you start to go back into, but I would have such a great relationship with my horse, and I would wash it, and I would have this amazing connection with my horse, and I'm feeling really passionate about being on a horse. And then all of a sudden you start to feel like, but horses are really big. Like when you get closer to them, they're actually very big, and that's scary. And you start to get afraid and go, oh yeah, maybe I don't want to do that, because, getting on a horse and you'd be up so high, and I've heard of somebody somewhere has fallen off a horse. And then you start to talk about it, and you speak it out loud, and you say to your family, I'm going to learn how to ride horses. And the first person you tell go, are you crazy? So you can see where it's getting stuck in any one of those areas, any one of those pillars, right? So it's getting stuck in visualizing it, or it's getting stuck in the money and the finances and what are people going to think about it. It gets stuck in even the relationship with it, or it gets stuck in the fear, or it gets stuck in the speaking about it. We all know people who talk about dreams and what they want to create and never do. And then we've also been told, when you blow out your candles, make a wish, but don't tell anybody or it won't come true, right? So we don't tell anybody, but we need relationships to grow our businesses. So you can see how it gets stuck in any one of those areas.
Oh yeah. And the yeah, but syndrome, I call it, like, oh yeah, but that could never work, or other people putting that on you.
Yeah. Or we do it ourselves as well. Yeah, for sure.
We do.
Yeah.
Fear's a big one.
Yes, it is, right? And that's all about, like when we're moving towards, a healthy lifestyle, or we're moving into a business venture, like that's where the fear, like a lot of fear comes up about being visible, being seen. I used to have a yoga studio. I had a yoga studio, very successful yoga studio for 17 years. And I used to get people come to me and I really want to come to your yoga classes, but my friend doesn't want to or can't come right now. And I'm like, oh, okay. She was afraid. They're afraid to come by themselves, right? They had to bring their friend,
Yeah, I get that if you're like going on a blind date, but not a yoga studio.
but I think people can relate to that. They don't want to go to the gym by themselves. They don't want to, like fear is holding them back from having a really healthy lifestyle.
Yes.
Or business, or relationship, or the money that they want, the abundance that they want. Yeah. All of it.
I totally agree. And then too, then you get also into I don't know how. So, and then it's like, well, yeah, but isn't that part of the adventure? Learning how.
Yes. Or alternately, I see in my clients, most of my clients have a stack of certifications about this high of training that they've taken. And because they don't have the confidence. So they keep taking more and more training because they don't have the confidence to do a purpose-driven business, a purpose-inspired, their purpose in business. And so they keep taking more and more training, more and more training, more and more training. And then they never get out there, and they're really talented. Like this is what I've seen all the time is these really talented coaches and healers and entrepreneurs, and they're not making the income. They're not making the impact, because of it's getting stuck somewhere in the process.
That makes sense. I know that's resonating with me. I'm starting to think, okay, where am I getting stuck? And so, well, now you also said people think journaling. Do you think journaling is a good tool to help you work through those blocks, or do you think?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm saying that, we've been told you have to do all of these things, that we have this list of things that you have to do, and it's still not working. And so I'm not saying not to do any of them. I'm not saying don't do affirmations, don't journal your gratitude. But if it puts more pressure on you, it's going to put you into a place of lowering your vibration, right? Making you put you in a place of suffering. And so I always believe that we're in one of two states of being. We're either in a powerful state of being, or we're in a suffering state of being. And nothing's right, nothing's wrong. It's good. You learn a lot in both. But the thing is that to stay connected to source energy, to stay connected to manifestation energy, to your intuition, to creativity, you need to be in the powerful state of being. And so if the pressure of I need to do my 5 gratitude in my gratitude journal every night, and you don't do it, and then you go, oh, why? If that's so ridiculous, I should be able to do it because Oprah does it. I heard Minna talk about Oprah, right? She says, like, I do my 5 gratitude, and it's like, well, why can't I do that? That's why I'm not manifesting. Well, that's not why you're not manifesting. Yes, it's a good practice to be in gratitude. It's a good practice to be there. Actually, this happened today. My husband and I were out for a bike ride, and we stopped at this little restaurant and had like a coffee and a little bite to eat. And some complaining came up. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I am not having this. We are having a beautiful day today, right? Like, we're bike riding on a Friday in the middle of the afternoon, and the sun is shining, and I have an e-bike now, so I can go and really fast and, you know, up the hills like anything. And so I just switched it and just started, oh, my coffee is so delicious. And like, I just switched it. I just went into 5 gratitude, boom, 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 right away. And I love my bike, and he knew what I was doing, and he switched it. He knew what I was doing.
Yeah. I love that. That's that, you know, I mean, I think sometimes when it's something big, I think we have to, one of my objections is always when people say you shouldn't feel that way. It's like, but I do feel this way. And if I don't acknowledge that I feel this way and work through that, then I'm just blocking, because I'm denying, you know, like whatever it is, especially if it's something big, like a death of a family member, or, you know, something really big. There's a process of going through that, and you can still be grateful for certain things, but you can also be sad, and we're complex people.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, having the 2 states of being, there's nothing wrong with either one. It's just, if you're wanting to manifest, if you want to grow your business, if you want to, you know, have a healthy lifestyle, it's, you need to be in that powerful state of being, at least, like, or checking in, like, how much am I in suffering? When I do a workshop, I ask people, you know, out of, you know, how many hours a day do you spend in suffering? And I've had people say 8 hours a day, the entire time they're at work. And I'm like, okay, that's not okay. That hurts my heart to hear that. That hurts my heart.
Yeah.
And and it puts them in, when you're in that lower vibration, it puts you into that place of scarcity, right? You know, like we've also, you know, we always hear, you know, our thoughts create a reality, and it's true, but again, we can't watch every single thought, right? I don't even know the stats, 60,000 thoughts a day, and 85% of them are negative, or 75% are negative, some sort of statistics like that. And so we cannot watch all that. And though I do believe our mind is really powerful, at the same time, we need to come to our heart. We need to come down to our heart. In truth, it's our intuition that offers a more natural and effective approach to manifestation, right? It's connecting to our intuition, connecting to our heart, going with the flow, all of that.
Yes, that feels really good too. When you're in the flow and it's just moving, and even if something kind of goes a little snafu, you're just like, yeah, that's okay. That's just going to pass. And it just does. And you're going, and it's like you're on the river, and the current's just carrying you.
It feels like magic, doesn't it? And that's why my program is called Manifestation Magic, because when you're in that flow, it feels like magic. Like, I'm like, how is this happening? Like, like I still do that. Like, I went to an event just a few weeks ago, and I was asked to offer a gift, and I thought, okay, well, I'll give I have a book and a deck of oracle cards. I'll give them into the basket. And then she offered if I wanted to give out something to, like, a gift to the 100 participants. And I'm like, I don't have anything. And then as I was getting the stuff together, she was coming to get it, and I was looking for business cards, and I came across some postcards that I had with a free card reading on there, and intuitive card reading. And I thought I had over 100 of them, and they were pre-COVID from when I did some sort of show, right? And so I threw that in. And I'm like, oh, no big deal. Like, you just do it, right? Like, Andy was talking about opportunities that come, right? And so I thought everybody was given this opportunity to put something in there. And then I get to the event, and they put on this huge screen on top, thank you to all our sponsors, and my name, because it was in alphabetical order with first name, my name's top of the list, Candace McKim. And I'm like, how did this happen? And it's because the opportunities are coming and you're in this flow and you're like saying yes and you're finding stuff. And, it's a beautiful place to be.
Oh, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, do you know any of the secrets? Like, are there any secrets to attracting and receiving too? I think we block a lot of receiving in our lives. So
yeah, I think the first secret would be to have clarity. Especially women don't know what they want. They know what they don't want. Like, we're really good at knowing what we don't want, but women typically don't know what they want, but they know they're here for something more. Like, again, I've traveled and taught this workshops all over. And I always ask, who here feels like they're here for something more? And 100% of the people raise their hand. And so, one of the things that we're also told to do is visualize every morning, right? Meditate for half an hour or 20 minutes every morning, and then visualize for 10 minutes. And I'm not saying these things are wrong. I've been meditating since I was 12 years old. My mom and my parents were self-employed. And so my mom was stressed out and went to the doctor, and the doctor prescribed Valium to her back in the day. And she's like, I can't take this stuff and run a business and a household and all of that. So I was 12 years old. And so my mom and dad took our entire family to learn how to meditate. So at 12 years old, I started my meditation practice. So I'm not saying don't meditate, don't visualize. But what I hear a lot of my clients and students saying is that they don't know what they want. They don't know what to visualize. And I know I'm supposed to visualize. And again, they're putting this pressure. I know I'm supposed to visualize. I did this myself. I know I'm supposed to visualize, but I don't know what to visualize. Mm-hmm. But they know they're here for something more. And so I differentiated the visualizing to visioning. So visualizing is the house, the car, the relationship, the fitness, the vitality, the bank account. And visioning is just knowing that you're here for something more, that you have a calling, that you have a purpose. And so every day you ask Spirit, guide me on my path towards my greatest good. Spirit, I talk to source energy, and it's a spirit of your own understanding, right? We're not talking religion here.
Right.
And it's like, Spirit, what could I do today in my business that's going to lead me further into my purpose? Or, what can I do today that's going to attract more income into my life? And just asking those questions and asking Spirit and your guides, your angels, or the universal energies to guide you on the path. And I think that's the number one thing, because it'll help you to get clarity, and it will take away the pressure of, I don't know what I want. Even somebody said to me the other day, I really want that big house across the lake. And then she's like, but I don't know, it's really big. I'd have to clean it,
Yeah, not to mention heat it or air condition it.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because I like the day by day, because we tend to think if some gigantic thing has to just fall out of the sky, and it's really a day by day. I always call them baby steps, but really it's really just, if you're in the flow today, then tomorrow the next thing comes, and it just comes, and then all of a sudden you look like an overnight success or something like that.
Yeah.
But you've really put in the time and the effort, and I mean effort in the positive way, like what you're talking about, visualizing and visioning, and then putting forth like, if you're a musician, you got to practice. But I love that. I think that takes pressure off. It's like today, it's just today, breathe and just do today. And
and to keep doing the inner work. I used to say, when I did more mindset coaching, and now it's like, no, it's more than just mindset, but it was, 90% of your business is mindset. I believe that. And now I've switched it to 90% of your business is the inner work.
Yeah. So I like to call it mind shifting. Because these weird ideas that we've gotten and I mean, all of us have them, but like people say things to you all the time. Like, you can't do that. What are you thinking? Why, oh, who said I can't do that?
Yeah. When people ask me, what are you doing? It's my way of knowing that I'm following my intuitive guidance. So a few years ago, I raised $20,000 for victims of sex trafficking in India. And 6 weeks before I raised the money very quickly. I was in the flow. And so I was going to India for 6 weeks. And so 6 weeks before I left to go, I got the intuitive hit to sell my yoga studio, to let it go. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing that. And so anyway, I was going to close it at that time. So I called the realtor and she said, oh, I'll offer you a 3 months rent. And so I had to pause, right? And so I went into my intuition and I said it out loud. I said, I'm going to keep my studio. And my body contracted and went, no. And I said, I'm going to let the studio go. And it was expansion. And I said, okay, I'm going to let the studio go. So 2 days before I left to go to India, I handed over the keys. And everybody asked me, what are you doing? I've had a studio for 17 years. It was a beautiful community. It was a place to teach workshops and I saw clients and yeah. And so even my husband said, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You're only going away for 6 weeks. That's what he said to me.
You are only going away for 6 weeks, right?
Yeah. What are you going to do when you get back? Are you really going for 6 weeks? Good point. I never thought of that. I love it. And so anyway, it was just this gut instinct. And I came back and it opened up time and space for me to write my book, to create a deck of oracle cards. Was asked to do a TEDx talk. I started teaching all around, North America, and nothing's right or nothing's wrong. It would have been fine to stay where I was and still continue to have that community in our city. But what it's done for me is it's gotten me out more global, which is what I wanted to manifest, is to have a bigger impact. And that was what I was wanting. That was what I was wanting to manifest. And it's not just available to me, right? Or to a few people. It's available to everybody. Like, everybody can do this.
Yes.
Yeah. If they want.
Yeah. Well, really, truthfully, we're manifesting all the time.
Exactly.
But sometimes we're manifesting things we don't want because of these blocks that you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. Or we don't have the clarity, or we put our visions and dreams on the back burner, and we can help our children manifest their dreams, and we can help our partners manifest their dreams, but we're not thinking that our dreams are important. And it's from lifetimes of feeling that way, women especially feeling that way. Yeah.
We are all things to all people. Yes. And most of us put ourselves last. Yeah.
And the really cool thing, so another one of the things, I don't know if I guess it's a bit of a tip, is not any two of us want the same things. Like, not any two of us want to manifest the same thing. Like, even even me and my partner don't want to manifest the same thing, my husband, right? Or even my business partners. We don't want the same things. So there's always enough, right? We're not taking from anybody to manifest, to get what we want. And I think that's a thing that women feel a lot, that if I get what I want, I'm taking from somebody else. And do I really deserve it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that idea has been kind of programmed into us. Yes. Just like being chronically ill, they've programmed into you, oh, well, if you have it, someone else doesn't. Is that really true? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's very poverty thing.
Pardon me?
That's a real poverty consciousness kind of thing there.
Yeah. It puts us into that place of lack.
Mm-hmm.
I always, when I have house guests or when I go to people's houses, I always ask, how are you feeling this morning? And if people say, I feel great. If they say, oh, I feel horrible, I had a horrible night's sleep, you're instantly in a place of lack. The second you wake up in the morning and you didn't have a good sleep and you're feeling a low energy, you're all automatically in a place of lack.
lack of sleep.
Yeah.
And that can feel like a lack of energy, which then permeates the day and so forth. Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is a great conversation.
Right. But I think that's a real little in your face kind of moment, right? That, because how often do we do that? I watch myself. I like when I'm there.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible? I know like you can wake up, especially if you have the pressure of going to a job where, like you said, you're sitting there for 8 hours a day feeling completely miserable and unhappy because you don't want to be there. And then you're tired on top of it because you didn't sleep well. And so that's perpetuating that lack thing. But do you think there's a way we can pull ourselves out of it before it gets too much momentum and make a shift?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. So I had a yoga studio for 17 years. Before that, I was a social worker, and I worked as a social worker, and I got burnt out, and there's no way I'm going back there ever again. I don't care. Like if I got burnt out once, I have that disposition to really to really work hard and to have this drive and this passion. So I could easily burn out again. Mm-hmm. There's no way. I will not allow myself that. I have to do my work and my business and my life in a way that is 100% sustainable, and doing that through taking deep breaths to relax our central nervous system, to meditate every day, to move our bodies every day, to rest and get sleep, to eat healthy and drink lots of water, and to use affirmations, and to have a coach, and to all of those things, right? That creates sustainability in my business. It's key, 100% key.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to create support systems and systems, especially if you're an entrepreneur or you work at home, you have to have systems that work for you, and you're not having to be a slave to them. Yeah. Because then you're burning yourself out.
Yeah. And boundaries, right? Boundaries, because we give, right? And one of my mantras is body before business. So that I make sure I get up and move my body, and I meditate always first thing, and then do some other affirmations, and then move my body. And I don't miss it ever. I never miss doing that.
Yeah, that's a really good way to start the day.
Yeah. So anybody can take that mantra.
Yeah, I've become a big fan of the taking the breaks during the day too. And well, there's the ones where you've got to eat or have water or whatever, but then most of the time it's moving. Because especially we all work on computers, we all sit down, sit way too much of that, and we need we got to get up and move our bodies. Yeah, that just makes everything better.
And I see so many of my clients. Feel like they have to work harder. That they have to work harder to get where they want to go, and I don't agree with that. I don't believe that that's what we have to do.
Good. I love it. I could talk to you all day, Candace. But let me ask you, I understand you have a free gift for our viewers.
Yes. It's Realign with Your Vision, and it's a 4-part video series, and it's available on my website, CandaceMcKim.com, CandaceMckim.com. And it's really to help people move through the ebbs and flows of their lives. And we all go through it. And so that they can realign with what their purpose is and their vision.
Oh, that's wonderful. And how can we find you? If, we want to connect.
I am everywhere now. So my website, so on social media, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. Both are Candace McKim on Facebook and on Instagram, and you'll recognize my picture. And also on LinkedIn and YouTube. Yeah. Or my email, info@CandaceMcKim.com.
Okay, and I'm going to meditate. When I meditate tomorrow, I'm going to think at you. Good morning.
How are you feeling today?
Well, thank you.
And you're going to say, great.
Yes. I appreciate you coming on. If this was wonderful, please come back and talk to us some more. I think this is a wonderful topic.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody stay tuned. Coming up next is Kids Corner. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Kids Corner. So we have just survived Hurricane Beryl, and it got me thinking for Kids Corner today that about emergency preparedness when you have kids. Now, if you have older kids, obviously they can help a lot. But with young children, you kind of have to have a go bag ready just in case you have to evacuate. When I used to live in California, we got evacuated a couple of times because of wildfire. Here we were advised to stay home, which was a good plan. But you still got to have a plan. You still got to have something in place. Now, Andy and Minna are smart enough to have a generator, so that helped them out a lot. And if you are able to do that, that's a good thing. If you're not able to do that, then have a plan. And one really big thing with kids with a plan is you need to make sure that you've got water and snacks, because kids, they get hungry and they don't understand why they don't just get food. That might be hard for them. So water, snacks, first aid kit, maybe, make sure I never let my car get below half a tank before I refill it up. So that just kind of implement that policy. It makes you safer if you have to evacuate or leave an area. And generally speaking, depending on where you live and what possible potential kind of natural disaster you could experience, look into it and be ready and prepare your kids. And if you have pets also, pets need water, pets need food. If you have cats, they need cat litter. You need to make sure that you've got that stash too. When I lived in San Diego and I had a dog, I had the dog food and water, and I kept her harness on her, but I had the leash to just grab in case we had to jump in the car and evacuate. So anyway, that's a really, really good thing to be thinking about. Think about it. Forgive my mess. In the midst of all this, we're actually moving and I've been packing, so please forgive my mess. And we will see you next week. Okay, ciao, everybody.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy later years with energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies show signs of things just aren't the same as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing recovery time, and sleep all go downhill. If you had physical trauma that happened to your body like I did, this happens much faster. I felt like a 30-year-old trapped in an 80-year-old body. But do you remember as kids, the boundless energy we had, how fast we recovered? This is not because of getting old, but because of active stem cells inside our bodies. These are the cells that can generate and regenerate all the cells and structures in the human body. They are the building blocks of our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an innate repair system everywhere inside the body. But as we get older, stem cell activity slows down, become less effective in repairing damage, and decline. By the age of 20, we only have 1 billion stem cells left. By 30, they decline by 60%. By 50, they decline by 75%. 60 by 9%. And by 80, we're lucky to have 50 million active stem cells. But what if we can naturally stimulate our bodies to reactivate and regenerate new stem cells through phototherapy without drugs? Now we can with our LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patches. Reclaim your youth and look younger, feel stronger, perform better, and heal faster. Get your patches now at lifewave.com/chronically healthy life. It's not anti-aging, it is reverse aging.
Hello, we are Mutts and Meows Rescue, a 501c3 nonprofit, foster-based, no-kill group. Mutts and Meows Rescue pulls dogs and cats from surrounding shelters in the greater Houston area. We even pick up dogs and cats abandoned on the streets. Mutts and Meows Rescue is foster-based and rely on your donations to keep rescuing. To know more about us is to know more about our furry friends and help them find their forever homes. Come visit us at Mutts and Meows Rescue on Facebook today and decide how you can make a difference.
Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life show. So, what are your thoughts with what Candace was teaching tonight on on manifesting?
As she was talking, I feel like it manifested the pandemic. Don't blame me. I'm sure it wasn't me. But I feel like, during a time, I really wanted to move, right? I really want to get all where we were before. And I just don't have a way to get through to you, to get you beat on the same page. Like, so that was frustrating. That was like a stoppage, right? So then something happened, pandemic happened, and your view changed, and you agreed to move. So hey, and it manifested it.
And that's funny because Candace was saying that your manifesting between your partners are not always aligned, right? But that is interesting. But she brought up a lot of really good parts with visualizing and visionizing. That's the first time I heard that. Mm-hmm. And I think that is so important to distinguish. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like it. I have a lot of problems visualizing, even though when we meditate.
Yes.
I have a very busy brain. It's hard enough for me to just stop thinking, and to visualize is even harder for you. But to visualize, I think I can do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
Exactly. And the other thing that I like that she talked about was, are you in a powerful stance or a suffering stance? And it's funny because she mentioned how most people are suffering 8 hours a day, right? Like you actually hate your job and you're suffering. How can you expect anything good to happen if that's all that's all your life has is all this negative energy?
You manifested the wrong job.
yeah, exactly, right? So, first thing in the morning, she's always saying, body before business. And it's so good because she's if you're lacking in the morning, you can be lacking for the rest of the day. And I think that's so true, right? Because like for us, even us, we're always first thing in the morning, me and Minna, we're always tracking or ring. Hey, we're always competing a little bit to see who does better. But if the number's bad, like if we're not rested, the analytics are saying that we weren't rested, our heart rate was high or whatever, right? I always, even you always do something in the morning to basically boost up our energy before the day starts, right?
I mean, on the really bad days, we actually need a nap right after we get up. So that was a really bad day. But usually, if you move around a little, if you sometimes just coffee, and sometimes just visualization, sometimes PMF. It could be a variety of things. Cold tub that wakes me up.
Yeah, the cold tub wakes me up right away.
Right. But yeah, that changes your energy instantly, and that lasts for the rest of the day.
Exactly. So who do we have next week?
I think she's your friend, so why don't you introduce her?
Yeah, we have a returning guest, bankruptcy lawyer, Amber Willingham. But we're not going to be talking about bankruptcy. I'll leave that up as a secret for what we're going to be doing for her next week. But it's a big surprise as she is branching off a little bit.
Nice. So, join us back here Friday, 7 p.m. CST. You can watch past episodes at watch.e360tv.com in the Vitality TV network, and also on our YouTube channel at Chronically Healthy Life. If you'd like to know more about what we do and how we can help you live a chronically healthy life, visit us on our website, chronicallyhealthylife.com.
And if you have any comments, any questions, any suggestions about our show, you can comment on our Facebook page. Guess what? Chronically Healthy Life. Or email us at anything@chronicallyhealthylife. See you next week.
See you next week.
Jeff Pearson here, host of Invisible Condition, where we talk about all the people who are living and thriving with all those conditions that you can't necessarily see from the outside. Join me every Tuesday and Friday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on E360 TV.